Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. We've got a lot of news and rumors to cover today. But first, help us get to 5,000 subscribers. We are getting closer and closer. We're at 4,745. So if you want to stay updated all season long through trade rumors, through recaps, we have it all. Please make sure you are subscribed. A lot of rumors popping up in Pittsburgh today, and the first one is really out there, and it's regarding the Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. Is Mike Tomlin going to be leaving Pittsburgh? Something that I don't think many of us would have questioned, but Carson Palmer used to play for the NFL, went to USC. He got on the Dan Patrick show earlier this week, and he pretty much said that, USC is looking to fill that head coach role. Clay Helton got fired earlier this year. Carson Palmer said that Mike Tomlin is a name that could be in the mix. And I mean, this quote doesn't even do it justice. If you go and watch the interview, it sounded like they've definitely had discussions about Mike Tomlin. And I think that it should be noted that Carson Palmer is heavily involved, I don't know to what degree, in the hiring process at USC. Obviously, he played there, and now he's involved to some degree in the operations at USC. Now, it's very easy to come up with your ideal list of guys you want coaching your football team, and it makes sense that Mike Tomlin is up there on the spot. But is it realistic? Mike Tomlin is under contract through 2024, and that alone is a reason to kind of be skeptical of this rumor. But also, it would surprise me if Mike Tomlin actually wanted to leave Pittsburgh, because it really would be his choice. There's no way the Steelers are going to be firing Mike Tomlin. So it would be up to him. And really, the Steelers would have to allow him to do that. But ultimately, I think it's when you see a team have a challenging year and hey, Big Ben's going to leave. These are the things that Carson Palmer talked about. Like, it's going to be a rebuilding year next year, no matter what. And that's fine. But I'd be very surprised if Mike Tomlin was leaving. And we're talking about for the 2022 season. And of course, when USC rumors come up, also then now we're opening the door to many other colleges, LSU being one. Ed Ogeron, he said he's going to be leaving after this season. So is Mike Tomlin actually going to leave not just the Steelers, but the NFL and go to college? I mean, hey, I don't think it's going to happen, but what do you guys think? Will Mike Tomlin leave Pittsburgh after this season? If you think so, type L for leave, and if not, type S for stay. I'm going to go S for stay. I think this is just dreaming big. I think he'll stay in Pittsburgh. But guys, I want to tell you about our sponsor today. That is BetUS. If you guys are looking for a place to make bets, go check out chatsports.com/bet. They're doing a great deal right now with a 125% deposit bonus. That means if you put up $100, that's going to turn into $225. You now have a free $100 to bet on whatever you like. And if this is your first time using BetUS, we have another amazing deal to offer you guys. If you go through the steps that we talked about, chatsports.com/bet, you've got to use the promo code Steelers125. Sign up, deposit $100. You're going to get that 125% deposit bonus. Now you just have to place a bet on any game. You're going to get a free NFL jersey. Go to jersey, or once you do this, go jersey@chatsports.com. Send us an email. You have two options. You can choose between a TJ Watt jersey, which, hey, I would do this, or you could do a Najee Harris jersey. So if you have not used BetUS, go through these steps, take a screenshot if you want so you don't forget, but get your free jersey and get your free 125% deposit bonus. Do not miss out on this offer. And speaking of guys leaving Pittsburgh, this is one that I actually think is a bit more realistic. This is the rumors about Melvin Ingram being traded. Now, this actually makes sense because there's been some interest, at least there seems to be some interest. Right now, the Chiefs are still top interest from what we've read, what we've seen. And it makes sense why a team would want Melvin Ingram right now. I mean, he'd be really cheap. He'd be only a little bit over $1 million. And that's because Pittsburgh paid him that signing bonus over $2 million before the season. So, Pittsburgh, we've talked about it. They're not using him much. He hasn't been great this year. He's only had 10 tackles. He has had 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. But I just don't see I don't see the Steelers getting a lot out of him. And that's really the problem. That's when I think about, is this trade in the Steelers' benefit? I think it could be, but also, what could they get? He really has not played great. He's only played 7 games last year, but the Chiefs did work him out during the offseason. I do think that if he is going to get traded, this could be a realistic option. And now, as we get into trade talk for the Steelers, they're going to run into a little bit of a problem as we talk about if they're wanting to buy a guy, because right now they don't have a ton of draft picks to give up. So really, I envision the Steelers approaching this as a player for player kind of trade. Maybe they take an offensive lineman, give up Melvin Ingram. These are all different scenarios. We are going to get into plenty of trade talk in this next coming week. But what do you guys want in return for Melvin Ingram? Go to the comments right now. Give me your realistic options. Please do not go to the comments and tell me that you want a first-round draft pick and their best player. But go right now. Let me know, what do you think is a fair deal for the Steelers if they give up Melvin Ingram? On to another guy that might not be so happy in Pittsburgh. That is Eric Ebron. And, is he unhappy in Pittsburgh? Probably. If you guys saw his press conference earlier today, Brooke Pryor, she tweeted out essentially what he said. And in the press conference, he said, "My reputation is I'm always saying something. So for me, this time, I'm not going to say anything, and I'm going to let my tape and my coaches work for me. Is it hard? It's hard as enter." But that was a reporter asking him, just not being targeted a lot, how that's affecting him. Is he upset? And, I think he had a mature response in that press conference, but you can tell Eric Ebron is a guy that typically speaks out. He's a person that'll let you know if he's unhappy. And I think that was his mature version of letting Pittsburgh know he's not excited about the amount of targets that he's had. And, I get it. The Steelers decided to use one of their draft picks on Pat Freiermuth. So now not only are you competing for a tight end spot and getting reps over receivers? Well, now you are competing with Pat Freiermuth, who has realistic. I mean, he's won that battle. Right now, Freiermuth has been targeted 20 times. Eric Ebron has been targeted 13. Pat Freiermuth, 18 receptions, Ebron, 7. Now, they both kind of in the same around average. We've got an 8.8, 6.7. But if you look at the yards, I mean, Eric Ebron has only had 47 yards. Meanwhile, Freiermuth has had 158. They've both had a touchdown, but Eric Ebron's was a rushing touchdown, so that should be noted. I think it's pretty clear and obvious that Pat Freiermuth is winning that tight end spot. And so that's fine, but is Eric Ebron going to be able to control his emotions, be able to stay satisfied in Pittsburgh? I think these are all questions that come up when you're talking about, the level of happiness a player has on a team. So this is where, of course, he is going to be a talk about trade. I think he's going to be a guy that comes up, and it's going to be because he's not happy there. Pittsburgh really isn't using him that much. So now I'm asking you guys, do you think the Steelers should trade Eric Ebron? If you think so, type Y for yes. If not, type N for no. I'm going to say it's kind of I'm okay either way. If they want to trade him, they think they're going to get something more in return, great, let's do it. If not, then, keep him, especially we talk about the injuries popping up, Juju being out, all these guys are going to be getting a little bit more playing time. So it's a kind of take it or leave it either way. But we'll know a lot more as the Pittsburgh Steelers head on to take the Cleveland Browns. Right now, Browns are favorites at -3.5. And I think there's a lot of emotion, a lot of players out there ready to win this game. They're coming off the bye week. They're going to feel nice and strong and rested. We are going to have a lot more on this game, previewing it. We are going to be talking more trades as the deadline approaches, which is November 2nd. So please make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you do not miss out on any Steelers content.